Week 13 of Stranger Things Season 5 filming updates. This week, at the end of this video, we'll discuss a very interesting theory about the theme of Season 5. So stick around till the end. So let's start this video with a few pictures shared by the Stranger Things Season 5 production page on Instagram, the broadcast channel. First of all, we can see that they shared the video of the rainbow room that we saw in the Hawkins lab in the 4th season, which was actually a flashback scene. So if you remember correctly, in the rainbow room, all the test subjects were actually kept to play, to study, and it's the same rainbow room in which Henry killed everyone. Henry killed every little kid in that room except obviously Elle, and then Elle actually banished him to the upside down. And interestingly, we actually got a picture a few weeks back which had the same rainbow room, but it also had written this blood references, and in that video we also actually discussed that that might be the scene which they'll recreate and put it as a flashback scene from that exact scene that we saw in the 4th season. That means in season 5 they'll recreate that scene that we saw in season 4 and can be presented as a flashback scene. And now this actually confirms that theory, but also it gives birth to another theory that they might go deeper into some of the flashback scenes and probably discuss some of the flashback scenes before Eleven's time in the upside down. That means in season 4 how we discovered everything about Eleven and her backstory and a little bit about Henry and his time in the Hawkins lab. But I think in this season we may go deeper into the history and we can also see the start of the MK Ultra program. Basically we can see whatever happened to Henry when he was a kid. The second picture we have is of this Demogorgon. So basically this also means that the Demogorgons will also make a return in this 5th season, and we can see the head of the Demogorgon is actually on a stick, and it's actually used to pinpoint the locations where the shooting will take place, where the actors have to see to locate the Demogorgon and all those things. So it's a very technical thing, it's a very production oriented thing. Then we got this behind the scene picture. Now in this picture we can see it's either Ross or Matt Duffer. They are twins and they really look exactly the same, but we can see they are actually filming inside the Wheeler's house, inside the Wheeler's residence, and we can't really make anything out of these pictures because it's just simply looking at monitors. But even after zooming very much, you can't really decode what's in those pictures, so we have to move on from those. Now I want to talk about the return of Joseph Quinn's Eddie Munson, because in a recent interview Joseph Quinn was actually asked about his return in Stranger Things season 5, and he actually said this: "I know, but I'm not telling you." And he said that after a long pause, and that really establishes, or at least it can entertain the idea of him returning for the 5th season. Now if you think about it, there are only two major possibilities of him returning. Number one, obviously, and it's the very simplest thing to do, it's to bring him back in flashback scenes. I mean, those flashback scenes could be with his parents, could be with his uncle, could be with Dustin, which we didn't see in season 4, but there'll definitely be fresh footages which we did not see in season 4. But let's think about it even harder and let's entertain this idea now. What if this scene actually has a repercussion in the 5th season?
They're not gone, 11. They're still with me. Near.
And what if the Duffer brothers have been planning such a big deal from the 1st season that they'll bring everyone who has been consumed by Vecna and his Demogorgons or Demodogs, and they'll actually appear in the 5th season in the at the end game, because we can clearly see here Vecna saying this:
They're not gone, 11. They're still with me. Near.
And therefore we can think that whomever Vecna actually consumes, they doesn't die. They don't actually die. They are actually a part of Vecna, and probably in the 5th season when Vecna is dead, they'll all be liberated. They'll all be free. I mean, that's kind of a stretch, but it's just a theory, and please you guys tell me in the comments what do you think about this. But now move on to the biggest thing of this video. Check out this picture. This is actually Steve Harrington's car, and you can see a big ass antenna on that car. Now let me ask you a very simple question. What does an antenna do? And the simplest of simple answer could be, an antenna is used to receive signals from the radio or to send signals through the radio. And if you have been following this channel or this playlist for a while, you definitely know that we have been discussing about a certain radio station for the longest time on this channel, and that radio station is this one. And we also know that this radio station will have a major role in this series. Now we can obviously derive a lot of connections with this radio station and now with this picture that we got of Steve's car. But now yes, another another interesting thing, just in front of Steve's car we have a van, and that van actually belongs to this same radio station. And more interesting thing, in the last video we discussed about this mansion or this country club, and according to the people who took those pictures, they actually said that these two cars were actually parked just outside the mansion. Now this is going to be pretty interesting. What if this mansion actually belongs to Vecna, or this could be one of those hiding places of Vecna? Like in the previous season we saw that Vecna was actually communicating with the real world from the Creel house, from the upside down, and now this could be the mansion which he is using to communicate, or to just make his den. So basically the radios and antennas will have a huge role in this season in defeating Vecna, and we have been theorizing on this specific aspect right from the first or second video on this series, and now we can clearly say that yes, it will definitely happen. And I highly recommend you to check out this playlist in which I upload such kind of a video every Sunday, in which I discuss everything that has happened from the filming perspective in the previous week on the Stranger Things season 5 sets. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about in this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.